Good evening to FSU officials from the Office of the President, to Dean Fogarty, Dr. Alma Littles, Dr. Myra Hurt, Dr. Helen Livingston, Dr. Anthony Spates, Dr. Elizabeth Foster, Dr. Miranda Mag Della Valade, Dr. Iowa Wong, Ms. Thesla Byrne Anderson, IMS and other comm faculty and staff, regional deans, educational partners, distinguished alumni, other FSU officials, special guests, and family and friends. We welcome you to the first alumni celebration.
Tonight is a very special occasion as we gather to celebrate the accomplishments of our alumni and thank the many individuals that contributed to our success. They have a very informative and engaging program planned for you this evening. So sit back and enjoy. Please remember to stay muted until the end. We will begin with our documentary, followed by other agenda items as listed. Thank you.
I saw how excited everybody was about what was happening here. Something was stirring, something was brewing. Didn't know it quite yet, but just being a part of that institution for that brief period, it showed me something was special, something special was going on here. It's special to see this now, to see what it's become. It's truly an honor to be an ambassador of this wonderful university.
Every day, as students walk into this state-of-the-art multi-million-dollar complex, they get a visual glimpse of what being a medical and graduate student is all about. This is a place where students can visualize their dreams, a place where student advocacy dwells, a place where a strong support system is guaranteed. This is a place where dreams come true. It has been 28 years since the inception of the STRIDE program. My motto has always been that success is achieved by taking a dream and making it come true. The STRIDE story is the full manifestation of that dream, which began in 1993.
As the former director of the Program of Medical Sciences, which was a collaboration between FSU, University of Florida College of Medicine, and FAMU, my personal goal was to diversify the admissions pool. This was a national and local issue at the time as well as today. And I knew deep inside me that we could do something about this and give them the proficiency they needed. We're teachers. We know how to do this. This is not going to be rocket science. We can do this. Why hasn't somebody done this before? And now, 28 years later, we have the most diverse medical school in the United States of America.
So as a manager of admissions, I'm always impressed by the diversity of our class each year and know that it is due in large part because of our outreach programs and initiatives. So tell me, how did it all begin? What was your game plan?
After being hired by Dr. Myra Hurt in 1993 as the outreach coordinator for the PIMS program, she charged me with the task of finding a solution to the gap in minority student application, acceptance, and matriculation into our first-year medical school program. So my game plan was to create a program that would address the challenges that minority students face and that would provide opportunities that would engage, inspire, and stimulate their interest towards science and medicine. So I came from a background of teaching middle school science, so I had some idea about what was needed. I researched, I prayed, and I visited 2 universities to find out more information and to gain insight on what others were doing to increase minorities in their medical schools. I observed their outreach programs, but then realized that what I wanted was something more innovative, more comprehensive, more life-changing. I decided to use a holistic approach based on our unique mission because I knew that early intervention was a key component, along with 100% stakeholder buy-in and an infrastructure of support and diverse and meaningful experiences for student participants. So now looking back in retrospect, that is exactly what was developed. The Science Students Together, Reaching Instructional Diversity and Excellence Program, STRIDE.
It is my understanding that when we made the transition from the PIMS program to the establishment of the College of Medicine, that STRIDE was an integral part. So tell me about how all of that worked.
In fact, STRIDE was legislatively mandated to exist as an educational pipeline program and was written into the law that created the medical school.
I imagine that to do all of this, it took some sort of partnership.
Yes, of course. Agreements were made between FSU Com, universities, secondary schools, local doctors' offices, the area health education centers, and other community partners. This framework was recommended by the AAMC as one solution to the minority physician gap.
How did their support play into the further development of this comprehensive program?
After gaining support from various stakeholders and establishing a successful model, we were able to expand to rural counties beginning in 2003. As a matter of fact, we are still partnering with some of the same school districts that we began with in 2003 and 2004. Therefore, I would say that we have a solid infrastructure in place that works.
So when would you say this dream of yours became more than a vision? When did it feel real to you?
From the moment it began here in Leon County and we were allowed to implement a STRIDE elective class as part of the overall school's curriculum, bring medical student mentors into the classroom, have a reduced class size of no more than 15 students, and make the learning experience engaging and fun, I knew at that moment that it was real.
The STRIDE in-school model is a unique student-centered approach that focuses on college readiness, student engagement, and mentoring during the school day. The relationships that students build with their mentors long-term is an absolutely life-changing experience.
Hello, my name is Sean Gabani. I'm originally from Crestview, Florida, and I'm currently a first-year medical student at the Florida State University College of Medicine. I began my STRIDE journey in the 8th grade and have been involved with STRIDE for about 9 years now. It's been one of the most meaningful and transformative experiences of my life. I attended FSU for undergrad as an honors medical scholar and double majored in clinical professions and psychology. Now, when I first got involved with STRIDE, I never realized how far the program was going to take me. I originally come from a difficult background. Money was always tight growing up and family life was difficult. And a number of these things contributed to me never having my own doctor growing up. A lot of these experiences really inspired me to become a physician to help those who are typically disregarded or forgotten. STRIDE has been the program to make my dream a reality. The curriculum challenged me to go beyond the simple or the easy, inspired me to reach my full potential. STRIDE offered fantastic academic resources and mentorship, all in an atmosphere of togetherness and diversity. Establishing a support system is invaluable as you journey towards success.
Greetings. My name is Kahari Wood. I'm a physical therapist and CEO of Wellness and Rehab Specialist, and I am a proud STRIDE alum. I joined STRIDE while attending James S. Rickers High School in Tallahassee, Florida. So when I graduated from Rickers High School, I attended Tulane University as a biology pre-med student. It was because of STRIDE that I wanted to go that route. However, while in college, I was playing football. I had a couple of injuries and I availed myself to physical therapy and the rehab process. And that was where I decided I wanted to focus. And so because of rehab and the experience that I had in rehab, I changed my major from pre-med biology to exercise and sports sciences, later attended physical therapy school, and I've been a practicing physical therapist now for nearly 20 years.
What I remember most about my experiences with STRIDE and with PIMS would be the overwhelming support from the leadership. The leadership saw a potential in you that you may not have even realized that you had. Their goal was to maximize your potential, to get you to a place where you saw in yourself what they saw in you, the contributions you could make to medicine and society, the leadership that you could bring to medical education, to health systems, and beyond. Coming from a small town a little west of Tallahassee, STRIDE brought exposure, it brought academic strengthening, it brought encouragement that outreach programs can bring that have the potential to catapult a learner through the academic struggles, through the social stressors, through limited resources, to a place of capability and excellence in academics and patient care. I was fortunate enough to be one of the first mentors and teachers for the STRIDE program. And I remember very vividly those moments where we would spend time with the learners in school and after school. Not only did STRIDE provide opportunity for me, but STRIDE provided for me a confidence in my personal ability as a scholar and as a leader, so much so that I published an article about what it meant for me personally for my growth and my success. A constant support for STRIDE has been the parents.
As a parent and the first after-school program assistant, I am amazed at the program's success and sustainability. I can recall the many times students became excited to travel to FSU to attend the after-school tutoring program just to meet and interact with their mentors. On a daily basis, they were encouraged by myself, the staff, and mentors to think big, visualize their dreams, and know that they were within reach.
Another key and most important element is the role of the coordinator.
As the first STRIDE coordinator in 2003, I've been inspired, motivated, and moved by STRIDE and everyone involved. Even though it's changed, grown, and expanded since then, the heart and the mission are the same. We had 2 15-passenger vans and a closet full of science supplies to support middle and high school students in Tallahassee. We were at Griffin, Fairview, and Nims middle schools during the day, and at the old Florida High building for the after-school program. I would drive one of the vans, and one of the mentors would take the other van to pick up these incredibly smart and fun kids from Leon, Rickards, Godby, and Lincoln High schools and bring them back to the STRIDE Center. The students were greeted by their pre-med college mentors from FSU and FAMU. The mentors would work with the students and get to know them almost as family and provide individualized tutoring and support. Dr. Steve Harris and I would work long hours, knowing that our duty was to pass along our knowledge and help the Striders reach their full potential. And it was around this time that Mrs. Anderson, Dr. Hurt, and Dr. Livingston realized that they could move from success stories, like students getting better grades and higher GPAs, to gathering data to show the success that we already knew. And the data showed that one of the biggest benchmarks of success was with the STRIDE mentors. The college students provided mentoring and helped their younger counterparts learn how to overcome any obstacle. And we worked together, and we met some incredible students. And one of these students stood out, and he said he wanted to be a doctor. And I believed him. And I knew Mrs. Anderson could help him even more. Rashad, now Dr. Sullivan, got connected with STRIDE and became a mentor. I'm so honored to have been at the right place and the right time to meet him and so many others. I'm so proud to have a connection with STRIDE, and I'm beyond proud of all of the work that the STRIDE students have done day after day, week after week, and year after year to stay true to their dreams.
The need for a college-level program became apparent, which had 2 overarching goals. 1, to provide support to pre-college STRIDE students that transition to FSU as college freshmen, and 2, to recruit college-level pre-medical students who are already enrolled at FSU and FAMU and provide pre-medical advising, a network of support, and opportunities to help both groups navigate the rigors of a pre-medical track and the medical school application process.
We began to brainstorm and look around at other programs to determine what needed to happen next. What was the next step once they were able to enter a collegiate studies program? And So what we surmised through reading the research that had been done, as well as investigating the students that were in the pipeline and asking them what they were experiencing, was that they needed a home away from home. They needed a system of networks so that they could function, because many of them were first-time in college students. They were the first in their family to have entered college, and they really didn't have a paradigm of what should they do once they got here. How should they negotiate the various decision-making processes they needed to face once they were at the collegiate level and to reach their goals of entering a medical field.
To continue the pipeline, the Undergraduate Outreach Program, MAPS U-STRIDE, was implemented in 2000, the same year the medical school was built, and was a necessary addition to our pipeline.
This room is special. You're not just sitting here getting inducted into MAPS. This is the beginning. This is an opportunity that you cannot take lightly. You're not just getting inducted into an organization, a pre-health organization. There are numerous of those around the country. You're getting inducted into a family. This is a special institution. This is a special place. And the investment that they put into you, they want to return.
Hello there. My name is Dr. Anaki Bent, and I'm a 2003 graduate of the Florida State University and a proud alum of the MAPS STRIDE program. It's truly an honor and privilege to share my experiences about a program which has impacted my life in ways that I would have never imagined. A little bit about myself. I'm a Miami native, born to Haitian immigrants who migrated to Miami in the 70s. I'm one of 5 brothers, and my father was a taxi driver. My mother, a housekeeper who transitioned to a nursing assistant. I attended Miami Northwestern Senior High School in the heart of Liberty City, home of the Miami Bulls. And I knew at a very young age that I wanted to pursue a career in medicine. However, the path was not clear at the time. I went on to become my family's first high school graduate and the first to attend college. Upon entering Florida State University, I was introduced to Ms. Thesla Byrne Anderson and the STRIDE program. It was this relationship that helped equip me with the tools necessary to pursue this career in medicine. It started with tutoring sessions and study groups at the STRIDE Center. They became like a family. We motivated one another to get through these exams. Then I had the opportunity to enroll in the Certified Medical Assisting program at Lively Tech. I was with the inaugural group of students who were certified phlebotomists and EKG and all of the duties that come along with being a medical assistant. These clinical skills gave me a competitive advantage when it came to application time. And then lastly, my time with the MAPS organization as the treasurer on the inaugural executive board was a experience that I carried for quite some time. And the relationships that were developed during that time on the executive board allowed me to build lifelong relationships. One of my fondest memories of that time was when the executive board surprised my wife and I at the hospital while she was delivering our firstborn. And would you believe that this son of mine is now a freshman at Florida State University? How awesome is that?
Hello, my name is Dr. Nikita Wilkes, and I'm currently an OBGYN in Jacksonville, SRB OBGYN. It is my honor and privilege to be a part of the STRIDE family and outreach at FSU and FSU Med. I had the honor to go to FSU at the young age of 18 and started in 1998. From my family background, I didn't have a lot of family members that went to college, and no family members on my mother's side that ever went to medical school. And so I didn't have not a lot of knowledge about the medical program, how to get to medical school, how to further my career and my aspirations that I had since I was a young child. I'm thankful that I had the opportunity to be a part of STRIDE and be a part of MAPS and be a part of our outreach. And that time in FSU, I spent a lot of time with the program to the point that it built me up. It allowed me to show my confidence and to grow me to the physician and the person I am today. As I started out initially, I was in the pre-medical program and worked with MAPS as well as other young students who had aspirations to go to medical school. I had the opportunity to be a STRIDE teacher and mentor to 7th and 8th graders at Griffin Middle School. And I taught the anatomy class, which was one of the best experiences of my life. And to see these young people and their ability to learn taught me and helped me grow as a young person as well. In that opportunity, I also was able to become a pre-medical advisor to the other students around, because at that point, you learn a lot about being a program, especially working with Ms. Anderson directly. I was able to understand the process of trying to get to medical school and help others along in their essays, in their resumes, in their application, as well as just building encouragement and confidence that we all wanted to give to each other.
Good morning or good afternoon. My name is Alex Batiste, and today I'm going to give my testimony. My story first starts with my parents. My parents were born and raised in the Republic of Panama. They grew up in a very impoverished community and were challenged by famine, hunger, and poverty. When I use this next term, I'm not using it lightly. My parents grew up in literal slums. Fortunately, by the time my mother was 20 years old, she managed to move to the United States and enter the Navy. Through the Navy, she was able to bring my father to the United States. Because my mother was in the Navy, I was born in Iceland, and I began my primary education in Italy. By the time I was 11, my mother had retired, and we moved to Florida. Fast forward, I graduated from high school and became one of the first individuals in my family to physically attend and graduate from a 4-year university by attending the Florida State University. When I first attended FSU, I didn't have much guidance. All I knew was that I needed to maintain a good GPA. During my sophomore year, my entire perspective changed, mainly because I met Ms. Anderson. I always had a dream of becoming a physician, but it was through Ms. Anderson that I solidified and manifested my goals and what really felt like my calling. Through Ms. Anderson, I became involved in MAPS, STRIDE, and USTRIDE. I am happy to say that I am currently a second-year medical student at Baylor College of Medicine in Houston, Texas. Although I am miles away and very busy with medical school, I still make time to stay involved with USTRIDE and STRIDE by tutoring college courses such as organic chemistry and general chemistry, because I truly believe in the power of mentorship. I am also currently one of the founders of a new organization at Baylor College of Medicine called Black Men in White Coats. I am using my experiences from USTRIDE and STRIDE as a blueprint and applying similar ideas to the city of Houston. My fellow Black male classmates and I are currently working on going to middle and high schools to mentor and tutor science students. It is very hard to be something if you've never seen or been exposed to it. I didn't meet any Black male physicians until it was my junior year at FSU. This is why I feel it is very important for my classmates and I to mentor and expose the youth. Last thing I want to say is I am forever thankful and grateful for Ms. Anderson and STRIDE for the opportunities and guidance both have provided me. Thank you.
The final phase of the pipeline was the Postbaccalaureate Bridge program. Today, it is the master's degree program that offers promising minority and rural students an intensive, focused transitional year to better prepare them for the rigors of medical school. Dr. Helen Livingston was instrumental in its development.
We were bringing up the medical school, the 4-year medical school program, FSU College of Medicine, and Dr. Hurt had given me a brochure, and she said, we want one of these, and it was the Bridge program. So I developed that so that we had a Bridge program for students who were not quite ready for medical school, but with some assistance could get ready in a year's time. And that was something that I developed with Ms. Anderson's assistance. And then time passed, and then it became a graduate program, and I was called back after I retired one time and asked to implement the master's program, Bridge master's program, which is not easy to get a master's degree in a 12-month period of time, which was my task. But we did it. And involved in that was the research that they needed, as well as some of the other support services that we felt they needed to make it to do well in medical school.
As the current director of Bridge and a minority physician, I know firsthand what it takes to get these students to the finish line. Our 12-month master's degree program runs concurrently with the first-year medical student class. Bridge students come from rural, underserved, and disadvantaged backgrounds, but what they all have in common is a passion for service and numerous hours of clinical experiences with populations that reflect our mission. These students are academically gifted, but need a transition year and strong mentorship to ensure success within the medical curriculum.
My name is Dr. Angela Guzman, and I am an OBGYN practicing in Orlando, Florida. I am elated to be with you today. I can wholeheartedly say that I would not be the physician that I am today if it were not for my involvement in the STRIDE and Bridge program. I can say that because I am the descendant of teenage parents. My great-grandmother had me at 16. My grandmother had her first child at 16, and my mother had me at 17. I am the only physician in my family, and I am the first in my immediate family to go to college. When I was a freshman in college, my family packed me up and they dropped me off at FSU. I knew that if I wanted to become a physician, I had to forge my own path. I had no one guiding me or leading the way. I actually didn't know how to navigate the choppy waters of college, let alone finding my path on the tumultuous road to medicine. I literally didn't know where to begin. I stumbled upon the MAPS program. I went to one MAPS meeting and I knew immediately that this would give me the opportunities that I needed to be successful. So I quickly joined and became active. I served as the social coordinator, the social events coordinator. I then served as treasurer and ultimately became the president. Through MAPS, I served as a mentor in STRIDE, and this is when I had the most fun. I mean, I got to work with some amazing students, and I cherish the memories that I have with those students, many of the students that I still keep in contact with today. And working with those students actually solidified that I was on the right path because they gave me a renewed vigor every time I wanted to give up and quit. And so I loved STRIDE so much that I ultimately worked as the coordinator for founding the Orlando chapter of the STRIDE program. And after graduating from college, I then matriculated into the Bridge program. And this is when the fortification of my foundation truly began. This is when I met some of my best friends. This is when I can truly say that I first felt the tangible touch of success. Because being in Bridge was not easy, and I was forced to reckon with some of my weaknesses. I was forced to strengthen those weaknesses, but I was given the opportunity and the time to do so. So much so that because of my origin in Bridge, I can say that I graduated with honors from medical school. Because of my origin in Bridge, I was given the tools needed to ultimately be successful, and I was inducted into the Alpha Omega Honor Society. Because of Bridge, I was given the connections needed, and ultimately I was chosen to be a part of the Gold Humanism Honor Society. And I truly do believe that I was given all of these opportunities because of my origin in Bridge. Have changed not just the course of my life, but my children's lives, my grandchildren's lives are all forever changed. Success will forever be theirs because I was given the opportunity to be successful. I was shown what I needed to be successful. And so I want to sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, just say thank you.
There are 205 other graduate students just like Dr. Guzman that have taken courses alongside first-year medical students. They learn the same materials, they dissected the same tables, and they learn the same clinical skills. During the second half of the year, they learn research writing skills, focus on community-based participatory research with an FSU faculty member, mentor STRIDE pre-college students locally and virtually for rural STRIDE students, and they polish their clinical skills during a clinical preceptorship.
At the end of the year, they present their research findings, graduate, and move on to the first-year medical class. A program very much like this is largely responsible for my success in medical school as well as in my career. The mentorship I had during that program was invaluable, and that's why I've devoted my career to investing in these students the way my mentor invested in me. FSU, through our pipeline programs like STRIDE, U-STRIDE, Honors Medical Scholars, and Bridge, make that diversity a priority. That's what drew me to FSU. That's why I love the College of Medicine, the IMS division, and the work we do.
Our educational model and curriculum is mission-focused and designed to train our students how to be caring practitioners of both the art and the science of medicine. Our model is designed to develop exemplary physicians who practice patient-centered healthcare to communities of greatest need.
Our curriculum was built on training students in the settings where most patients receive healthcare in the 21st century: outpatient offices, clinics, and community hospitals. You see, my medical training was built on the concept that the patient is the book. Involving practicing physicians in medical education was and is a source of professional satisfaction. So we've developed a mission-focused curriculum, developing training in rural and other underserved areas, along with educational activities throughout the 4 years of medical school that focus on underserved populations. We're also developing graduate medical education residency programs that support our mission of training physicians to practice in underserved areas.
Our success is also attributed to the cohesiveness of the team. We have shared vision of leadership, and every faculty, staff, program assistant, and coordinator's number one goal is to empower students, whether through mentoring, advising, or coaching.
STRIDE success is the result of vision, passion, dedication, and commitment from everyone involved, coupled with 100% buy-in from our students, parents, teachers, administrators, College of Medicine deans and associate deans, faculty, and staff. As the director of STRIDE for the Southern region, I have, for the past 5 years, witnessed the positive impact it has had on our students from Immokalee and Sarasota, on all of our students, really. Every aspect of the model is exemplified to the fullest from our sponsors, mentors, teachers, coordinators, administrators, and data evaluator. We provide a progression of honors and advanced courses from 8th through 11th grade with clinical skills training at the 12th grade level. All of our classes are filled with innovative lessons and engaging activities facilitated by our STRIDE teachers and pre-med mentors. We also provide educational field trips, standardized test prep, grade monitoring, academic interventions, virtual tutoring and mentoring with our honors medical scholars, college planning, awards banquets, program assessment and evaluation reports that reflect our outcomes, and the list goes on and on. The bottom line is STRIDE is an amazing program for students that are interested in healthcare and medicine and have the drive to make it through the pipeline, to come back to serve in the communities where they grew up. And I love being part of it.
Hello, my name is Clara Calderon, and I am the principal at Immokalee High School. For a number of years, we have had this partnership with FSU STRIDE Program. We have been the beneficiary of having 8th graders come over to the high school already, having some exposure to what the program is about, and also potentially opening up their eyes and opportunities for furthering their education in the medical field. At the high school level, we have at least 3 grade levels that participate in a cohort for biology, for chemistry, and for anatomy. And with our goal is to get them to, once they have decided that they're going to pursue a medical career, that they go into the post-secondary with Florida State University and enter the STRIDE program there. A number of our students have taken advantage of that, and I am very pleased that we have been able to send students further their education in the medical industry. I look forward to the day where one of those students can return back to Immokalee and open up their own offices, their medical offices, and offer those services here at Immokalee, which are greatly needed. So congratulations on having 20 plus years with the Florida State STRIDE program. And we hope to continue to offer this program here at Immokalee High School so we can continue to offer this opportunity to a lot of our students. Thank you.
Our diversity successes are a result of collaboration, vision, teamwork, dedication, commitment, and support. That support starts from the top and begins with the dean of our medical school.
The FSU College of Medicine was founded in the year 2000 to specifically address the anticipated workforce challenges for the state of Florida at that time. Our mission from the beginning was centered on rural, underserved, and underrepresented communities, and this provided our focus and our goals. With this in mind, and knowing that research shows that students from those rural and underserved communities are more likely to return and practice in their home areas, we set out to recruit from those communities. A Chinese proverb asks, "When is the best time to plant a tree?" The answer? 20 years ago. Our pipeline programs existed before the College of Medicine was founded, and our present diversity outcomes directly reflect the work for over 25 years of identifying and encouraging students from our target communities to dare to dream, go to college, and consider health careers. Planting those trees over 20 years ago helped us bear the fruit we see today in our student performance and statistics. We know it works, and we have the outcomes to prove it.
This program has truly shaped my life for the better, and I can never say how grateful I am. Thank you.
I believe that STRIDE can prepare you for anything, whether it be clinical care, whether it be leadership, whether it be a role in administration, you name it. And it's through the support and encouragement and their belief in your success that makes that possible.
We are overachievers, Miss Anderson. All of us, and all the others who helped, numerous educators across the Panhandle, and funding from the state, Florida State University, the College of Medicine at Florida State University, and others, mentors, medical students, high school students, etc. We showed what is possible. Think big, and you can change the world.
In developing the pipeline, we actually walked down many paths that others had never walked down before.
Our ideas for developing the pipeline model and this documentary that reflects our past, present, and future was truly God-inspired. I prayed for direction, and our creative ideas developed into programs, then opportunities, to bridge the gap for minority, rural, and underserved students and help them to build a solid foundation and change the course of their lives forever.
What does it take to build? To build a solid foundation on how to think and to live. To create an inception of philanthropic propensity by pursuing diversity as a model of truth. By accepting the capstones to build the refuse and putting them to noble use by giving them a common purpose. To build what seems to be imperfect. What does it take to give? To give something that hasn't been made, therefore you have to create something from the absolute. That being the definitive part of you, to give your time, your moments of thinking how to put those ahead who seem to be falling behind, we ponder. Just how does someone who thinks this way arise? Be it through their own determination, living to be the purpose of their creation, does it take them to stand in the gap and fill in the bridge that which has been made by putting their lives on the line? So I ask, who? Who has the time to achieve the impossible and dare to believe that all things are possible? Who does it take to take a chance on change, to open doors and pave the way for dreamers and future believers in themselves, to be a constant listener for those who cry out for help, to answer with the same passion and concern they would as if they were doing it for themselves? So I ask, who has that much love to give?
That was an inspiring poem recited by my husband, Dr. Rashad Sullivan. We actually met during our years in MAPS, and we both served as STRIDE mentors and instructors. STRIDE changed our lives. I became a radiation oncologist and Rashad an orthopedic surgeon. Who would have ever thought?
Indeed, with hard work and perseverance, dreams really come true. The only other poet that's as amazing as Rashad is Dr. Jimmy Moss. Aren't they best friends?
Yes, they are. And during their medical school years, they created an organization called Why Me? Youth Motivation and Empowerment, which is an organization created to help at-risk youth make better personal choices and lifelong decisions. Dr. Moss went from homelessness to Harvard. Another great success story. As a matter of fact, let's listen to a small portion of a poem he recited for the College of Medicine White Coat Ceremony back in 2010.
I went down to the river and sat down by the banks. I tried to think but couldn't, so I jumped in and sank. I came up once and hollered. I came up twice and cried. And if it hadn't been so cold, y'all, I might have sunk and died. But it was cold in that water. It was cold. I took the elevator 16 floors above the ground. I thought about my baby and I thought I would jump down. I stood there and hollered. I stood there and cried. And if it hadn't been so high, Lindsay, I might have jumped and died, but it was high up there, Tamara. It was high. So since I'm still living, well, I guess I will live on. I mean, I could have died for love, but for living, I was born. And though you may hear me holler and you may see me cry, I'll be dog sweet, baby, if you're gonna see me die. Because life is fine, fine as wine. Life is fine.
Awesome. It's now time to recognize the accomplishments of many of our successful alumni as we present our Alumni Hall of Fame. Please enter comments in the chat to give an alumni shout out.
Its ups and downs. Turn your pretty face into an ugly frown. Seems that when I fix one thing, another one comes, clouding up my vision, but I can feel the sun. I believe that I can do this. I know that I can win, just as long as I have His love within. I believe that I can make it. I can make it through the night. I believe that I can walk on with my head held high. I believe that I am special in every way. But in order to have my victory, I gotta believe.
Congrats to all our alumni. Next is a personal reflection from Dr. Desiree Jonas.
Hi, I'm Dr. Desiree Strickland, and currently I am a health policy analyst with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention within the Division of Heart Disease and Stroke Prevention. And I've been a part of STRIDE since 7th grade, and y'all, I am 29 years old now, so it was a good while ago. So STRIDE has been an instrumental part of my life, from getting into STRIDE in 7th grade to just experiencing everything that program gave me and had to offer. I can reflect back on field trips that we went on that exposed me to medicine, to healthcare in general. And honestly, I would not have had a career in healthcare if it wasn't for STRIDE and all the support and assistance that I've had over the years. I remember back in 7th grade, 8th grade, and all throughout high school, we got mentors that were actual medical students. And I thought that was literally the coolest thing ever. And the amount of encouragement that they gave us to keep going when classes got hard, to say oh wow, this person looks like me and they're doing it. They are out there and they are becoming medical doctors. And at that time, that was my goal, to become a medical doctor. So I just remember being exposed to that through STRIDE, being taken on a tour of the College of Medicine where I got to see cadavers. That was literally the highlight of that year, being able to see a cadaver. But being able to do that, as well as going to Atlanta and touring the Coca-Cola factory, those memories that I have of being exposed to that is amazing. And I come from a small town. I'm from Madison, Florida. And I feel as though if it wasn't for STRIDE, I wouldn't have gotten the exposure to those things. And that exposure really piqued my interest, so much so that I went to Florida State for undergrad, of course. So just want to say again, a big thank you to STRIDE, to Miss Anderson, to everyone who poured into me and helped to get me to where I am today. So, all right, bye.
Thank you for that amazing reflection, Dr. Jonas. Our next reflection will be from Dr. Jacqueline Hanners.
Hey everyone, I'm Jackie Hanners. I'm a first-year OBGYN resident at LSU Health Shreveport in Shreveport, Louisiana. I am from Crestview, Florida, or Okaloosa County, as some people know it, where STRIDE had a presence for middle and high school age students. And that was my first experience into STRIDE. I consider myself a pipeline baby. I still remember interviewing for STRIDE, being so nervous because I was interested in medicine, and I really wanted to get picked to be a part of the program. And then thankfully I was, and I got to really be a part of it. And they gave me what I wanted, was that, all of that stimulation for, and, the knowledge base to really pique my interest in health and medicine. But they also gave me support in a time when I really needed it. I used school as a constant in my life when my home life wasn't constant. In my home life, there was issues with substance disorders and health ailments and, family members passing away. And so school was a really big constant in my life that I needed in order to have some structure in my life. And so that's where STRIDE came in, for the support, for the lifelong friendships that I've developed. And as a gentle reminder that, no matter what happens, that if this is what I want to do, I can be whoever I want to be. I love STRIDE so much, and Florida State was just a hop, skip, and a jump away. And so I came to Florida State for my undergrad, where I got a bachelor's in exercise physiology. During my time there, I joined STRIDE so I could give back to the middle school age children as well, since I loved the impact that they made on me. They also provided me with opportunities for service and medical shadowing, as well as guidance that I needed because I didn't have it within my family, since nobody in my family was in med school or in the medical field. And so they helped me with traversing through, writing my personal statement, making sure my application was in line, helping me out to make sure that I was ready for interviews, and constantly guiding me and reminding me that I am good enough. And so I loved STRIDE. I loved FSU so much that I had to come to FSU for my medical degree.
Thank you for another life-changing reflection. STRIDE truly makes a difference and changes one life at a time.
Next up is our program evaluation specialist and my amazing boss, Dr. Iowa Wong, who will now share our outcome data for pre-college, college, and graduate level programs.
Good evening. My name is Iowa Wong. I'm the program evaluator for the IMS division, which includes STRIDE, UStride, Summer Institute, Bridge, and other components of the pipeline program. In this special evening of celebration, I would like to take this opportunity to share with you what our pipeline programs have accomplished based on 28 years of data. Let's first take a look at our pre-college level STRIDE program. Since it was established in 1994, the program has served more than 2,500 students. As the two charts here show, about 2/3 of the participants are females and 2/3 of the participants are ethnic minorities. Based on the information that we were able to track, more than 1,000 pre-college STRIDE alumni have graduated from high schools. And as the chart on the left shows, 98% of them successfully went to colleges or universities, and more than half of them chose to study STEM or healthcare-related fields as their college majors. The chart on the right represents post-college outcomes. From this chart, we can see that more than 40% of our tracked alumni went to a graduate school or medical schools. And again, more than half of the graduate school matriculants focused on healthcare or STEM fields. Summer Institute is another important component of the pipeline program at the pre-college level. It has served 755 students since 2008. About 3/4 of the participants are female, and about 3/5 of the participants are ethnic minorities. The chart on the left shows that 98% of the tracked Summer Institute alumni successfully went to colleges, and almost 80% of them studied in STEM or healthcare-related fields. The chart on the right shows the post-college outcomes. Almost 40% of the tracked alumni successfully went to medical schools or graduate schools. And again, the majority of the graduate school matriculants focus on STEM or healthcare-related fields. UStride is the next section of the pipeline program at the college level. Like pre-college level STRIDE program, UStride was also established in 1994, and since then, the program has served more than 700 students. About 2/3 of the participants are female, and about 3/4 of the participants are ethnic minorities. By this year, almost 80% of the tracked UStride alumni successfully went to medical schools or graduate schools, and specifically 55% went to medical schools, and 23% went to graduate schools. Among the med school matriculants, the majority of them came here to attend FSU College of Medicine. Like the pre-college STRIDE and the Summer Institute alumni, the majority of UStride alumni who went to graduate schools also focus on STEM or healthcare-related fields. As the chart on the right shows, among the UStride alumni who have graduated from medical schools, 61% chose primary care in their residency. So far, we have viewed the outcomes of the pipeline program at the pre-college and college level. Now let's move on to the post-bac level of the pipeline program, which is the Bridge program. Since it was established in 2001, the Bridge program has served 206 students. About 3/4 of the participants are female, and about 4/5 of the participants are ethnic minorities. As the red section of this chart over here demonstrates, 91% of the Bridge students have successfully completed the program and matriculated into medical schools. And as the chart over here shows, that among those who have graduated from medical schools, 72% of them chose primary care in residency. I know that I just showed you a lot of data in a very fast pace. So just to summarize, the data demonstrate that during the past 3 decades, our outreach and pipeline programs have touched the lives of more than 4,000 students. And the majority of the participants who have benefited from the programs are underrepresented minorities. And most participants chose to focus on the fields of STEM, primary care, or other healthcare professions in colleges, graduate schools, or medical schools. All these program outcomes are well aligned with the mission of this college, as well as the broader need for healthcare professionals nationwide. Due to time limit, I can only show you the outcomes for parts of the pipeline program here. But as this chart shows, the complete pipeline programs actually include more components that were added in recent years, such as a STRIDE Connect program, HMS program, and IMS programs. And by broadening and strengthening the pipeline program, we hope to provide stronger support to more participants with even better outcomes in the future. And last, I would like to end my presentation with a big thank you to all of you. I and my assistants try our best to track alumni in every possible means in order to collect and analyze various outcome data. A few of you here tonight actually helped me as my assistant, and many of you might have already received multiple phone calls, emails, and Facebook messages from us. So thank you very much for either assisting me or kindly providing your information to us. But without your help and cooperation, it would not have been possible for me to present all this outcome data here tonight. So thank you again, and best wishes to your study, career, and life. I hope you enjoy the rest of the celebration event tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wong, for being such a diligent and detail-oriented worker over the years. Our diversity outcomes could not have been achieved without you and your team's hard work and dedication. So again, thank you.
Before the keynote speaker is introduced, I just want to inform you that at the end of this event, there will be a Google link placed in the chat for everyone to fill out regarding how they want to stay connected with STRIDE, followed by a breakout session to discuss our 30-year face-to-face reunion. Thank you.
Next, our keynote speaker is like a mentor and a brother to me. He is one of the most dynamic and motivational speakers I've ever heard, other than Dr. Jimmy Moss, of course. So without further ado, I introduce to you Dr. Rashad Sullivan.
The road less traveled. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere in the distant truth, 2 roads diverge on the path, and the one less traveled happened to be the only one that I could choose to make my mark in difference. The cost to me would greatly diminish the value of my time and my persistence. The reward I can't take for myself, but I must leave it behind. For there are those who will continue to need it just as much as I. This road doesn't afford me the sense of complacency of my comfort zone or the company of others who look like me walk in the beaten path. Little black boy chose to reach higher than the confines that his environment would teach as the limit and the extent of his grasp. The fork in the road is the last stop. I consider, do I continue going down this path or not? Thinking out loud what obstacles await as I tread to the other side. Will it wear me down and rip away at my pride, test the competency of my resilience, have me believe that there's truth in the lies that I'm behind those who have been ahead all of their lives? If the first shall be last and the last shall be first, then what am I? I am resident. I've grown and become strong from the pain of being another black resident. Held back for what many thought I lacked, but my integrity is intact and it's evident. Me here tonight compiles more evidence that it was just another stain on the odyssey of my journey to become all that I could be, so I won't delete it. Some saw in me what no others wanted to see, extended hands to reach, encouraged me to learn what no book could teach or test could prove. I've taken the road less traveled, and I will reach my destination, and it's because of you. And that has made all the difference in the world to me. Good evening. Thank you all for being here tonight as we celebrate us. All of us who have become an alumni for the influential and impactful STRIDE program. My name is Rashad Sullivan. I've been a part of this program since 2006. I served initially as a van driver for high school students. I went on to become a mentor, a tutor, instructor, assistant coordinator, and a supervisor for the after-school program. Today, I am an orthopedic surgeon because of those experiences. As you can see, STRIDE has had a major impact on my career path. So I was tasked this evening with encompassing everything that we watched and heard tonight as we celebrated this program and the alumni through art, song, vocal expression into a keynote address. To do that, I think it's important that we look to our past as we celebrate the present and hope for what the future may bring. We stand on the shoulders of giants who dared to dream beyond the confines of their limited circumstances to answer the calling that would herald change and opportunity for those who would come behind them. As a black man, as a black surgeon, I want to share with you the importance of this program with a brief look at the history of African American diversity in medicine and how it relates to us all. Let's start with one of the first. Dr. James McCune Smith was believed to be the first African-American man to earn a degree in medicine. You see, Dr. Smith was unable to attend college and medical school in the United States because he was black. So he had to move to Scotland, where he earned his medical degree in 1837. Slavery was not abolished until the 13th Amendment in 1865. He could have very well have been a slave as opposed to a physician. And then there's Dr. Rebecca Lee Crumpler. She was the first African-American woman to earn a medical degree in the United States in 1864. It is documented that she experienced intense racism and hatred because of the color of her skin. Many white physicians ridiculed her ability to practice medicine. She even struggled to get her prescriptions filled for her patients because white pharmacists would not acknowledge her as a practicing physician, even though she dedicated herself and her practice to serving women and children. So we had to look to our own. Black institutions that would train black physicians. Leonard Medical School was one of them. It was the nation's first 4-year medical school. It trained 400 African-American physicians from 1882 to 1918, when it was forced to close its doors as a result of the publication of the Flexner Report, which was published in 1910. Although the Flexner Report is celebrated for the standardization of medical training and establishing the biomedical model we've come to know as the gold standard of medical education today, it also significantly impacted diversity in medicine, closing 5 of the 7 predominantly black medical schools, including Leonard, leaving only Howard and Meharry open as the predominant black medical schools in the first half of the 20th century. The practice of the Negro doctor will be limited to his own race, which in turn will be cared for better by good Negro physicians than by poor white ones. 10 million of them live in close contact with 60 million whites. Not only does the Negro himself suffer from hookworm and tuberculosis, he communicates them to his white neighbors, precisely as the ignorant and unfortunate white contaminates him. The Negro must be educated, not only for his sake, but for ours. And I quote Abraham Flexner himself. The negative impact of the Flexner Report is still felt today. The proportion of enrollment for African American males has not changed much since 1978. In 2020, approximately 53,000 applicants applied to medical school. And of those, only 1,457 were Black men, 2,906 were Black women. And of the 22,197 applicants that matriculated, roughly 10,000 were men and 12,000 were women. And of those matriculants, only 665 were Black men, 1,102 were Black women. While all other racial and ethnic groups has a proportionate percentage of male and female matriculants, roughly around 50%, that is not the case for African Americans. There's a disproportion of roughly 39% African American men compared to 61% African American women who matriculate into medical school. While African Americans make up 13% of the U.S. population, we only account for roughly 5% of the physicians in this country. We've barely moved the needle. An article published this year in the Journal of General Internal Medicine reported the percentage of Black physicians has barely risen within the last 120 years. From 1900 to 2018, it has only increased from 3 to 5%. And as we ask questions of why does this deficit exist, predominantly within the African American community, we find the troubling answers of systemic racism in our justice, educational, social, economic, and healthcare systems established in this country. We need solutions. And it's with a great sense of pride that I can say STRIDE has been one of them. Why is this important? Why is this considered one of the great medical crises of our time? Well, multiple studies have been conducted that demonstrate that a diverse workforce in healthcare will help advance cultural competency and increase access in high-quality healthcare, especially for the medically underserved populations. While the lack of diversity in the healthcare workforce and in positions of leadership in healthcare threatens quality and access to healthcare and contributes significantly to healthcare disparities among African Americans and Americans overall. According to the U.S. Bureau of Justice Statistics, African American men make up roughly 6% of the U.S. population. And yet, we disproportionately account for 34% of the prison population in this country. Black men are 6 times more likely to be in prison than any other race. So unlike Dr. James McCune Smith, today we don't face slavery, but the truth is, Black men are statistically more likely to go to prison than to go to medical school. These statistics hit close to home for me because I was one of them. I am a rarity. I am the culmination of God's grace and the opportunities afforded to me by His mercy extended through the open hearts and willing hands of humanity. I know what the numbers say about me as a Black man. I know had it not been for my God and the opportunities afforded me through STRIDE, I would not be here tonight. My path is different from most of you. I'm the third of 9 children. I grew up in poverty. My family struggled with addiction and incarceration. At the age of 18, I faced 20 years to life in prison. I've been labeled as a felon by some, but I sit before you, redeemed in Christ as a husband, a father, a son, a brother, and an orthopedic surgeon. We are here tonight to celebrate one of the most significant contributions to my success story, the STRIDE program. Ms. Anderson often says that success is achieved by taking a dream and making it come true. Our lives today are a result of our thinking from yesterday. Our lives tomorrow will be determined by what we are thinking today. We are what we think. And our lives are a composition of our dreams made into reality through the choices that we make and the thoughts that precede them. Who dares to dream the impossible? To see the lack of diversity in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and medicine, and instead of continuing to ask why, propose a solution and ask why not. The STRIDE program is an achievement of its own. It begins as a positive thought of incorporating diversity and integrating the mission and vision of FSU College of Medicine with an outreach component by extending opportunity to rural communities and unrepresented minorities in medicine and in the sciences. As we reflect on its success tonight as alumni, we no longer see it just as a dream, but a reality that has impacted the lives of all of us in attendance tonight. It amazes me to think that over 20 years ago, this program was created with the mission and the vision to help someone like me. STRIDE is a product of progressive and positive thinking. We are all benefactors from the dreams of these individual women who aspired to give something back to their students, and those students who would in turn be inspired and give themselves to a higher calling. The calling of becoming a physician, engineer, scientist, biologist, mathematician, higher education professional. For me, becoming a physician was answering a calling to serve, to give myself to fulfill the purpose of helping not only those who look like me, but those who don't. My ability to answer that calling has been made possible by being a part of the STRIDE program. The reality is, STRIDE didn't just help me on my career path, but it changed my life. I met and married my wife through our encounters in the program. The first time I saw her was actually at a MAPS meeting. We share 4 beautiful children together. And because my life has been changed, my children will not know poverty. They will not know the sorrow and emptiness of a home due to addiction and incarceration. And even now they aspire to be like their parents. They want to be doctors. With my life, I can now make a difference in the lives of so many others. And I have Miss Anderson, Dr. Livingston, Dr. Foster, Dr. Hurt, and the STRIDE program to thank for taking a chance on me. The very chance that so few were willing to take. I challenge you all to consider being a part of this dream that we call STRIDE and fulfilling the need for diversity as a model in your respective fields. Bridge the gap where there's distance from those who dare to dream but lack the opportunity and the resources that you have the ability to provide for them. In closing, I'll echo Ms. Anderson again. Success is achieved by taking a dream and making it come true. Success can be achieved when we work together. Success truly is science students together reaching instructional diversity and excellence. Thank you.
Have a dream, it deserves to come true. Do you have a future that is suited for you? Take a quick minute, let us introduce you to the STEM. Science and technology, engineering too. If you're into medicine, STEM's a choice for you. Be a mathematician, dare to be great. STEM's got possibilities, it's never too late. To be all that you can be, it's never too late. To have a future, to be free, it's never too late, but you shouldn't wait. Take the opportunity, think smart, choose STEM. I dare to be different, I won't compromise my future. Fulfill my destiny. I'm more than ordinary. I'm gonna be all that I can be. So dare to be different. Fulfill your destiny. To be all that you can be. It's never too late. To have a future, to be free. It's never too late. To be all that you can be. It's never too late. To have a future, to be free. It's never too late, but you shouldn't wait. opportunity, think smart, choose step.